Hi, I'm Chris and I hope you're doing well. With marathon season fastly approaching, whether you're running Brighton, London or Manchester, your training should be going well. So what has actually been happening with my training? Well, I just want to be honest with you in this video, and also I've tried out my Hoka shoe for the first time, which I get to at the end. So how has training been going? Well, as you know, I started a new job probably, I don't know, 6-7 weeks ago, working in a special needs school as a teaching assistant. It's quite local, so I walk 1.6 miles there. And since I've started, it was always going to be difficult juggling training with the obviously darker nights, with the horrible weather, and kind of getting used to a kind of new job. Since I've been working there, I've been doing more and more PE, which is great, love it, and really enjoying the job. But obviously the problem with that is that I've been doing sports, like football, basketball, dodgeball, things like that, which I love doing now. When I first started, I picked up a groin strain just from obviously just playing football. I hadn't played it for, since I was probably late 20s. So, some time ago, I'm 48 now, I'm not a spring chicken. So most of the times that I finish work, my body is, I wouldn't say beaten up, but I know I've done some exercise. So what I've tried to incorporate, because of the darker nights, is running home from work the long way. I only do about 5 miles, but I've noticed on the runs that my legs are really, really heavy, because a lot of the time I'm doing PE, last thing, my legs are heavy, and when I'm running, they're pretty shot. The kind of times when you run and it just feels like they've got no shock absorption. Your legs have got no shock absorbers, that's what I mean. So it hasn't been that enjoyable. Yes, I have been incorporating park run once a week, and the reason I've been doing that is just trying to keep a bit of speed, and I've been doing a lot of pacing for people, whether it be 22 minutes, 21, 20, or just helping people out with PBs. And the reason I do that is because I like to give back, and it feels great to help others achieve their goals. Does that fit well in with my marathon training? No, not really. What has happened with my marathon training? Well, as I said, I've been struggling with obviously adjusting to a new job, the darker nights, wet weather, and just kind of fitting in and actually feeling okay when I go on the runs. Yes, I know that the park runs haven't been helping, but I've just not been that motivated to get myself at the door. I'm going to be honest with you, when I signed up for the marathon, I initially signed up for London because I watched it on telly, excited for, let's enter into the ballot. And then got an email from Breast Cancer Now saying £15 to do Brighton. So I withdrew my entry from London and went for obviously the Brighton Marathon, because Breast Cancer Now is a charity that's close to my heart, and I'd love to help raise money for them. To be honest, obviously since entering, have regretted it a bit. I'm not really one for the longer distances. I, as a teenager, was an 800 metre runner, got 1:59 as a 16-year-old and then gave up. I'm not going to go into that story, but I don't have a problem with the speed. I can wing a 5k and run 18 minutes. I can wing a 10k and run under 40 minutes with not much training. But a marathon is a different beast altogether. London, I thought, in my back of my head, I can run sub-3, but went off too fast, ended up blowing up, hamstring tighten up, and ended up running just under 3:40. So I don't want that to happen again. So I haven't been doing the mileage. If we go through the last 2 months, 15 miles, 3 miles, 0 miles, 35, 14, 16, 40, 28, and then 24 this week. So there's no consistency there. Yes, some of them weeks are okay for a 5k runner, but definitely not for a kind of marathon runner. So I just have been kind of thinking, the competitive me is thinking, let's have an A, B and C goal. Let's go for 3:20, 3:30, and then C goal to try and beat my PB of 3:40, which I think I could do anyway. Well, I think I can, but we'll soon find out. So I've been an hour over that. So what I've come up with is I'm just going to go off at 8-minute mile pace and then just see how I feel, and then just adjust the pace from there. I think I just need to be realistic. That would bring me in at 3:30. It might be too much, or I might be able to go a bit quicker. but I'd rather save myself for the kind of latter half when I get to about 20 miles onwards. So I'm excited, but also very nervous because I know that I haven't trained for it, and I would like to run it for fun, but I don't think you can run that distance for fun. But the most important thing is raising money for breast cancer now. I will put a link in the description if you can give any amount. It's more than welcome, whether it's £1, 5, 10, because I've raised about 63% of my target already, which is fantastic, and thank you to the people that have given. I really appreciate that. So from now until the marathon, I will try and get a longer run in before. I'll probably stay clear of park run for the next few weeks. Hopefully the weather will start getting better, because it's been cold, wet, miserable, and obviously the nights are the nights are not coming in as quick as they were, and obviously I'm getting more and more used to working at work and getting used to doing the PE, which is going to make me stronger long term, because then I don't have to do the strength work because I'm obviously getting that from work. So I'm doing 3 miles to and from walking from work. I worked out the other day I do about 3 miles walking to work, so I'm still getting exercise in, but I haven't got any more races planned. So it'd be nice to get a 10k or a half marathon booked in after the marathon once I've recovered. And the only thing that I have been testing out, which I was fortunate to be sent by Hoka, is my first ever Hoka shoe. So let's go and talk about that. So what Hoka shoe did I go for? Well, I actually went for the Mach 5. After trying on a few shoes, this one seemed to be the kind of feel that I like in a shoe, a combination of kind of soft foam and hard foam, kind of somewhere nicely in the middle, and kind of reminding me of a kind of faster kind of Nike shoe. I've always steered clear of Hoka because of that 5mm drop. I've had issues before with my Achilles, that when I was wearing New Balance at 6mm drop, I was constantly having issues there. And so when Hoka kindly offered to send me a pair, I thought it was time to give these a go. Loads of people have been saying how fantastic they find Hoka, how comfortable. So it was nice to actually get a few miles in them before obviously I'm speaking to you. I've done a couple of half marathons in them and just various paces, and I have to say I've been very impressed. Haven't had any issues with my calves and Achilles, which is fantastic. The foam, it's just delightful to run in. I was trying to kind of think of a shoe that is similar to kind of feel. The only one I could come up with was my Pegasus 35 Turbo. I know it's not exactly the same, but it's just that really nice combination of some soft foam at the top and slightly harder at the bottom, and it's just a joy to run in. I say I didn't have any issues. It's a shoe that can do everything. So if you are on a budget, then it hasn't got a carbon plate in, and it can do anything from easy runs to kind of faster tempo runs. Been in different weathers in it, so whether it be raining or dry, gravel, and the sole is exposed. It's a combination of kind of foam and rubber. There is some slight kind of wear in this heel area, but I think that's just the kind of pattern in here. I don't think it affects the grip, but it's just kind of worn that off, and I've only put probably 30 miles in the shoe. So, but looking at the reviews from different people, some people get 300 miles at the shoe, some people get 800 miles at the shoe. So I don't think there's anything to be concerned about. Very lightweight, I say very comfortable, get a good lockdown, breathable. So definitely a shoe that I would recommend if you're looking to give Hoka a go, or if you've already got maybe a Clifton shoe and you want something a bit quicker. So what shoe will I be running the Brighton Marathon in 3 weeks' time? Was tempted to be wearing this, but I need all the help I can get. So that only means one shoe, and it's going to be this, the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro. I say this has been game changer. This shoe is probably the best shoe I've ever used. For races, the only reason I've been umming and ahhing about it is because I'm going to be running around about 8-minute mile in. This isn't great at the kind of slower paces, but when you're kind of sitting mainly in this middle area, because it obviously wants you to go forward. So that was my only concern, but to be honest, I need all the help I can get. And because this saves my calves and my Achilles, it seemed the logical choice. So let me know how your training's going for your marathon or any other races that you've got coming up. Let me know down in the comments, and I'm going to leave the video there. And I will speak to you soon. Onwards and upwards. Cheers!